Okay, so in this video, I'm going to show you how to bring in an outside STL file of an abutment. So in the download, it comes with, let's see, a folder of abutment files, okay? And there's not very many, but it's because these cover a very broad spectrum of abutments. All we care about is everything from the margin up, so or the collar, whatever you want to call that, from where the ceramic or resin meets, which would be right down here at this line. Everything below it we don't care about. All we care about is the chimney, everything above that. So that's why we have a small selection of abutments. This covers so many different things. That said, there are very big different shapes of abutments out there. So I'm going to show you how to bring in one that you may have obtained from someone else, from a manufacturer or whatnot. And in this case, you can fast forward in a minute. I'll put a little timer on the actual screen to tell you where to fast forward to if you already have a file. But I'm going to show you how to get one from Blue Sky Bio. Okay, so I say that because if you're going to use one of the other abutments, one of the questions I've had is, what about using an MAU, a multi-unit abutment, or whatnot? Well, I'm going to show you how to get one. So what I've done is I just opened up a case. Doesn't matter. The model is completely irrelevant. It could be a case you're working on or just nothing. And I'm going to go ahead and click on Add Implant. Now, you want to find the abutment you're looking for. So in my case, I'm usually using the Biomax implant. The implant size does not matter. We're just looking for the platform that you're going to be using, the correct platform. And then I'm going to go to abutment, and I'm going to click select abutment. And here's the variety of abutments that we have in the software. There's a ton of them. Now keep something in mind. As I said earlier, all we care about is from the collar or margin up, or in the case this is a maxillary, down. I don't care if this angled abutment is no different than a straight one, because all that matters is from here down. So don't be confused by that. We don't care about that. Now, as I look through here, there's various abutments, and this is where it's different. When the chimney portion, where the restoration or healing abutment is going to fit on, that's where it matters. So I'm going to come down here to the KISS abutments, the KISS, which is keep it stupid simple, or keep it simple stupid if you want to be derogatory. So these two abutments are just kind of stock abutments, preppable abutments, so this would be an example of something you might have. So I'll just use this one, and then I'm just going to click anywhere. I don't care where the implant is at all. Okay, so here's the implant. There it is. I'm going to go up to File, Export Data, and I'm going to uncheck everything but the Export A abutment. Implant is A is abutment, and I'm going to click Export. This won't cost you anything so long as you haven't designed a surgical guide or something. And this is where I'm going to place it. Okay, so hit OK. And so now I can close Blue Sky Plan. The file is no longer. Okay, let's go to my desktop for a second here. Okay, so the file is now saved right here. Okay, so that is available for me to use. I saved it in the same folder simply so I could come back and find it later on. You could put it in the abutment files, but if you put it in there, you might get mixed up with the ones we included. So create another folder, whatever you want to do. Now it's in safekeeping. I can always come back and find it if I want to make some more down the road. Okay, so back into Blender, this is where those of you that skipped ahead in the video are going to be picking up. Okay. The point of this is that we now have our STL file. We have our abutment file saved, ready to go, and we're going to incorporate this into Blender and use it to create our healers. So now the one big difference we're going to do is one thing different than the normal workflow where we would pick everything, and then hit import abutment. We're going to change to advanced for a moment, from wizard to advanced. I'm going to skip ahead of everything. I'm going to come down here to abutment files, and I'm going to look for that folder. Okay, go desktop, go to download files, and well, here's my abutment. Here's the STL. I'm going to click accept, and I'm going to let it load, or I'm going to click right here, click import abutment. It'll load. So here it is. It came in upside down. It's not in the middle of my environment. I need to orient it. I need to get it centered so the software knows what to do with it. Okay? Very simple. Just follow the next direction. First we imported it. Now I'm going to click Mark Abutment Shoulder. Before I click that, I need to mark where I'm going to be working on. Now if you're wondering, how is he moving this all around? I don't know. I'm pushing buttons and all I'm doing is clicking things around. Or I'm grabbing and moving things. Your left clicker indicates areas of importance, okay? That's why the little thing gets moved around. If I right click, it allows me to grab something and move it. If you do that, hit escape, it'll go back to where it was. If you have a wheel button on your mouse, pressing the wheel button, you can now move around and toggle around. If you hold the shift button on your keyboard and then press it, it allows you to sort of strafe in the gaming world or translate, move the whole environment around. Okay? So anyway, now that you know how to move around, I need to find something that's flat. Okay? What I want to be my shoulder is this margin right down here. But it's an angled line and the software requires something that's flat. Because, for instance, what I'm going to do is if I click here, I'm now going to press Mark Abutment Shoulder. It comes into the environment, it centers, it's perfect, except it's crooked. What the heck's going on? I need something flat. So I'm going to go right to the top of it. I'm going to click there, and I'm going to say Mark Abutment Shoulder. And voila, it's right where I need it to be. Okay? The only problem is that's not my shoulder. My shoulder's down here. So I'm going to simply grab this blue arrow, line this up, so this is sort of a flat line, and I'm going to drag it upward, okay? Right until I see that margin line up with there. Does it have to be perfect? No. Particularly in the case of what we're working here, these are temporary abutments. So get it close and be done with it, okay? Here's the trick. You're not done yet. We need to come down here to the Object menu, or button. And then I'm going to come up to Apply Location. Okay? It's important because although we've moved it visually, the software, when it makes the healers, is going to remember its old location. So I'm going to click that, and now it's essentially saved. It's locked. It's not going to move. Yeah. Okay, so now it's ready to go. If you want to mark the timing, because we want to have flat to the outside or whatever, well, then in that case, I'm going to come down here. I'm going to find something that's flat. Unfortunately, nothing up here is flat. It needs to be vertically flat. Let me clarify. But down here, these sides of the hex are flat. I'm going to click right here, and I'm going to say Mark Abutment Timing. And there we go. So now it is rotated. It's got the flat of the abutment oriented properly, and we're good to go. Okay? So, all that long explanation was simply to explain that I'm going to find my file. Well, first, I'm going to change it to advanced. I'm going to find my file. I'm going to import the abutment. I'm going to mark it somewhere that's flat, ideally on the actual shoulder. Click Mark Abutment Shoulder. If it was way up on a different area, I'm going to slide it up. I'm going to come down to Object. I'm going to go to Apply Location. That's going to save it. And if I want to mark the timing, I'm going to find something flat to indicate and click Mark Abutment Timing. At this point, I'm done with advanced mode. Patrick, that has developed this whole workflow for us, he has created a ton of setting options for us where you can completely change the shape of the emergence profiles, where the screw access comes through, if you want to move it to the lingual for anterior teeth or ridges that are resorbed or whatnot. If you need to move things around and customize things, you have full access. You can play with it all you want and figure it out on your own if you'd like, or Patrick has put together an online course for it. It's very inexpensive. I really recommend that you check it out. It's at d3tool.com. That's d3tool.com. So anyway, he's got that, which will tell you so many more ways to customize. But at this point, I'm just going to click on Wizard. I'm back. I've got my abutment in. I don't need anything else. I'm going to adjust the settings that I normally want to adjust, pick the teeth I want, and click Create APG Abutments. It's going to think for a second here, and it's going to calculate all 16 of the healers, just like it did when we brought in one of the tie bases that is already in the download. The only difference here being that we brought in an outside STL wherever you obtained this file from. Okay? And there we go. Looking from the underside, and here it is. All right, I'm going to leave it here. I'm not going to bother exporting these. You guys know how to do that. Hopefully this video helps you to create your own healers from a non-included abutment file. Thanks so much for listening.